I hope you're excited because this is going to be a good one. You see, in today's video, I'm going to teach you the 4 best prospecting methods to get your agency to over $10,000 per month by the end of the year. And by the way, these are the exact same strategies that I used at my agency when I ran it for 6 years. And more importantly than that, not only did I use these methods for myself, but I have taught these same methods to thousands of students inside of our program, Agency Accelerator. Just like Edvin, who recently collected over $30,000 in 11 days as a 15-year-old, or Arian, who recently closed a $4,000 deal in a single day. So today, I'm going to teach you the proven process myself and the students inside Agency Accelerator have used to scale their agencies to the highest level. And I'm going to give you all that for free. I'm going to walk you through the 4 different methods of finding qualified prospects to send your outreach messages to. And I'm also going to help you find the best method or combination of methods to use based on what stage that you are at with your agency. And by the end of this video, you will never waste time with a bad lead again. You will book calls with prospects that will actually convert to paying clients. And from that, you're going to be able to scale your agency exponentially. So on that note, let's get into it. Now, if you don't know what prospecting is simply building a list of businesses within your niche. Businesses that will want to buy from you. Let's say you were targeting kitchen and bathroom remodelers, for example. You would then build a list of all of the remodelers that you could find. Now that list would have name, address, email, phone number, and so on. And really that depends on your method of outreach. The information needed on this list can differ. Say for example, you decide to use cold calling for outreach. You wouldn't particularly need their email, just their phone number. In short, you are building a list of businesses with the information you need to contact them. So now that you know exactly what prospecting is and you have an idea of what you are looking for, let's go ahead and break down the top 4 best prospecting methods that you can use. And remember, each method has its pros and its cons. My advice is use a combination of them to cover all of your bases. Now, the first method is a simple one, networking. If you have a competitive advantage, use it unapologetically. Having friends and family who work in your niche is absolute gold. Not only can they buy from you, but they can also get the word out about your services. Personally, I would simply reach out and ask if you could have a chat. In person, by the way. But to be honest, even a Zoom or a quick phone call would work. And then I'd break down my service and value proposition. Be open about the fact that you are a beginner and you're just getting your first few clients and case studies. People really appreciate honesty, and most business owners have been in the same position as you, and they respect it. Now, 2 things can really come from this. Either they are personally interested and they buy, which is obviously a win, or you're able to ask if they know anyone who would be interested in your services, and that way you leave with a few referrals, which is also a win. Now, the disadvantage of networking is volume. Your network is only so big. That being said, when you're first starting out, it is a brilliant way to get some really warm and qualified prospects on your list. And in my humble opinion, it's the easiest way to sign your first client. Now, the second method is called lead sourcing. Manual lead sourcing is the process of looking for leads online. And listen, although it's very common, most people don't know how to get the most out of it. So let's cover the fundamentals. And then once we've done that, just a few hacks to speed up the process. You're gonna search for your industry and location on Google, jumping from website to website and saving their details on your CRM. For local businesses, the easiest way you can do this is with Google Maps. Google Maps allows you to search an industry and a business. And then you can use the bar on the left-hand side to copy and paste phone numbers and emails into your list. Easy work, right? Now, another method is using LinkedIn. If your prospects are active on LinkedIn, you can search for them on the platform with keywords in your niche. If your niche is remodelers, you could use words like contraction, remodelers, builders, and so on. And you can actually optimize this with LinkedIn Sales Navigator. It provides an advanced search option and even gives you lead recommendations. If you don't like LinkedIn, you could also use Instagram. The best thing about Instagram is that business owners follow each other there. So by simply finding one good prospect, you can go on their followers or following and find many, many more from there. And then you just want to go down this rabbit hole and you're going to build your list up in no time. Now, the last manual method of lead sourcing is online directories. And by the way, this is a game changer. And in my opinion, truly underrated. You see, online directories are websites where businesses will register on, and then they add their contact details so that way potential customers can get in touch. And these are particularly common for service-based businesses like plumbers, electricians, roofers, remodelers. those sort of companies. And an example of an online directory is Check a Trade. Now, this is a UK-based directory where trade businesses all over the UK register their contact details. Now, this is a UK example, but most countries have similar directories that you're going to be able to access. Now, the advantage of manual lead sourcing is the quality of the prospect, because you are finding everything yourself, so the contact details are correct and active. Now, the disadvantage is that it's very time consuming and the task becomes tedious very, very quickly. But it's a great place for beginners to start. It's also free, and you are certain the leads are good, and you spend $0 in the process. Now, the third and most efficient way of prospecting is using software. And there are so many softwares out there that can automate prospecting for you. All you need to do is type who you are looking for: niche, location, size, revenue, and it's gonna go ahead and scour the internet and pull thousands, tens of thousands of leads in the blink of an eye. Now, once the list is generated, you're then able to transfer this list into your sales pipeline. And this is actually a function that I have in my own agency software, Flowzy. You can simply import your full list into Flowzy. Now, once your list is inside of Flowzy, you're all ready for outreach. Now, there are so many different softwares that can do this for you. A simple search for lead generation software is going to provide you with many options, but make sure you look at a few different alternatives. Two main things to look out for is make sure you've chosen a software which is user-friendly and that they give you lots of leads quickly. One thing you need to remember is that the list will not be perfect. When you use software, the quality of the list will take a hit, which is fine. Once again, it's a trade-off between quantity and quality. Most softwares can't point out whether the prospects are still active or not. So just skim through all the leads and make sure to delete any prospects that aren't relevant. Like most things, there are also software options that can help you verify. You want to go ahead and look for lead verification softwares. Now, lead verification softwares allow you to run lead lists through them, and these softwares will flag dead leads. As I said, the advantage of software is the amount of time it saves you and the sheer volume of leads that you can generate. As mentioned, the quality of the list does suffer a bit, but is the trade-off worth it? In my opinion, 100%. Now, the fourth method is using B2B lead generation specialists. And this is a little bit on the advanced side. Now, you've probably heard me talking about contractor arbitrage before. And what I mean by that is outsourcing your service delivery to contractors, so that way you don't have to fulfill the service yourself. Well, you can do the exact same thing with prospecting too. Just simply go on platforms like Upwork and Fiverr, and there are freelancers who specialize in creating these lead lists for you. All you need to do is a quick search for B2B lead generation, and you will find hundreds of freelancers who can do that for you for a small fee. Now listen, if they're good, it is worth it. But be careful. There are freelancers out there that will charge you for a subpar service, and then they're just gonna send you a list of random businesses who aren't qualified and sometimes not even in your niche. And that makes their service absolutely worth it. Now, there are ways to mitigate that risk though. Make sure you always look at their client reviews and proof of work. And the good thing about platforms such as Upwork and Fiverr is that you can see some of their work and read reviews that business owners gave them. I personally recommend buying the lowest package they offer, because at the end of the day, this is a way to test with minimal risk. Let me explain. The way it usually works is they have 3 different tiers. The first tier will be the cheapest, but you're also going to pay the highest cost per lead. The middle tier will give you more leads, but at a slightly lower cost per lead. The top tier will be the most expensive, but it will allow you to get the most prospects at the lowest cost per lead. Always buy the first tier, even if each prospect costs a little bit more, because this will allow you to use the list and judge the quality of it. And if it's good, you can then go and buy the top tier package. If it's bad, then go ahead and look for someone else. Now, the advantage of using B2B lead generation is that you get a huge number of qualified leads. The downside is that there is cost involved, and you do open yourself up to some risk if you aren't careful. So if you do have some extra money to invest in your agency, give it a shot and see how it goes. All right, so now you need to understand which method or combination of methods suits you the best. And I'm gonna help you identify this right now. There are really 3 main questions you need to ask yourself. Have you used your network as much as possible? How much time do you have to spend? And lastly, how much money do you have to spend? You see, when it comes to your network, as I have said before, if you have an unfair advantage, use it. The second question is, how much time do you have? You see, if you're starting out and you have a demanding job that only allows you 2 hours a day to work on your agency, in that case, you wanna try and automate your lead sourcing process as much as possible. Manual lead sourcing will result in high quality leads, but it is very time consuming and not a good option in this scenario. So you definitely want to move towards methods such as B2B lead generators or prospecting softwares. Now, if you have limited time, focus on those two. Let's say you're working a day job, you probably have enough cash to bankroll that operation for a few weeks without having to sign any clients to pay the bills. The last question is, how much money do you want to invest? Just remember, there are really two main ways to grow a business when you're first starting out. And the first is time investment, where you will be investing time to get tasks done to keep the business moving forward. The second is capital investment, where you're going to invest money into software and others to complete the tasks on your behalf. So if you have money to spend, well then yeah, go ahead and invest in softwares or B2B lead generation experts. If you don't, then you're going to have to do the manual lead sourcing. It's going to require more effort on your part, but you're going to get the same result. And there it is, the 4 prospecting methods that make sure you never run out of prospects for your agency. Remember, use the methods that suit you best and always try to use a combination of them because they all have advantage and disadvantages. It's also wise to remember that prospecting is an ongoing task, so build the habit of always keeping your prospecting list as big as possible. So I hope you took something valuable from that, and as always, I'll be watching from afar, and I'm rooting for you.